I'm back.
You're back just in time for us to go live.
Yep, you'll probably have a pop-up there that tells you that the host has started streaming, so you may need to get that got it too.
And my computer audio is going through the studio display. That's awesome. Okay.
Oh, shoot. I forgot to do local recording. I better
You
hurry
don't
up.
need to. We're not going to use local recording. I'm just going to get Michael's recording locally for Zoom, so I'll just capture his audio, bring those into Reaper, and then edit them.
And I sound okay?
You sound fine to me.
You sound great,
Mike.
Good. Sound good to me.
Cool.
Wait, did they implement this all in Zoom? No. Okay.
What, the chat?
It says sign
that
into
would
chat.
be nice.
Yeah. It says sign into chat, and I'm already signed in on this computer, so that's very strange.
That is.
I don't know why.
My Instacart says shopping in progress.
Sweet.
This
is how real podcasters do it.
Right.
59.
Okay.
I'll try to be super quick though.
Oh, I'm sure it will be fine. Okay, why did it start playing again? Okay. So I've got my chat going, so we're good there. And I am going to go ahead and get our recording going. Is everybody ready for that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
A little something to drink first?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good idea. Drink, drink, drink.
Drinks to you, YouTube.
Oh, hello.
Okay. And record to this computer. Don't forget about your got it buttons.
I got it.
That's what happened last podcast.
I was on something, a meeting or something, and I hit the wrong one on accident, and it just booted me right out of the meeting. And it was just like, wait, I thought I hit the right button, but apparently not. So that was a very jarring experience. All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the iACast. All right, with me today, we have a new group for a new year. This is our first episode of the year. It's really exciting to be back, and we have some exciting news to tell you about this episode. So with me, I have a few returning folks. We have Lauren Flinner.
Hello, everyone.
And Michael Babcock.
Hello.
And a new face to the podcast, Marty Sobo.
Hey, all.
All right, so let's go ahead and start talking about the first item on our list, and that's some changes. We're bringing back the iACast network in a big way by adding a new show, and hopefully some returning shows will be coming back. So we're adding the Unmute Presents podcast. Marty and Michael, would you guys like to talk about what you guys are doing with Unmute and what that looks like?
Take it away, Marty.
Sure. So the first thing is we actually do a live show in the ACB community every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Western. And what we do is people come and they ask us their tech questions, and we try our best to get their questions answered there in the live show. If not, then we'll do some research and either get back to them or connect with them over email. And then once that's done, we edit down the show, and then we post it in about an hour after the show goes off the air. And then we're also doing 2 other shows in the week. One is kind of a long form, say 20 to 40-ish minutes on random different topics where accessibility and technology cross, as well as a education short tip or quick fast and dirty type of thing on Sundays. So we have Tuesday, we have Thursday, and we have Sunday. So, Michael, you want to say anything else there?
Sure. So the only other thing I'll add is we do our quick demo cast on Sundays, demoing things, which I inadvertently apparently had stolen from Michael. So, forgive me for that. And then we have actually recently, as of today, about 30 minutes before the recording of this episode, published a hot off the press podcast that was about 7 minutes long with an announcement from Blind Shell.
Excellent. And, it kind of works out because I believe that you guys are calling those demo casts, right? The short ones. Is that
Yep.
correct? So it kind of makes sense that we're all going to be on the same podcast network here at iACast. So it's really exciting. The iACast website is coming back in a big way. We have a lot of our content on there now. We even have a Mastodon way that you can subscribe, iACast at iacast.net on Mastodon. It's pretty neat. We also have our iAccessibility.social server that you can sign up at and become a member. So that's pretty neat as well. In fact, I believe Unmute Presents is over there, as I understand it, right?
Yeah, it's there. We did create an account. That's about all we did so far. We need to sort of get it updated with all the information. We are there. We'll get our stuff updated. But yeah, we're there. Just give us a little to catch up to everyone else and get some current updated info on there.
And do you guys have, for Unmute, do you guys have a Twitter account?
No.
We actually do not. We're needing to kind of do the next phase of what we're going to decide to do for all the social media and all of that stuff.
Well, and it's very good that we have Lauren here because, Lauren's really good at all that kind of stuff. So,
Definitely.
yep. So, the big kind of news topic I want to talk about that I feel like this means a lot to a lot of people. I'm not sure how it affects you guys, but, Microsoft Soundscapes was a big app on the App Store, and it was very useful throughout its lifetime, but it's now been made open source, and it's now available on GitHub, and I believe it left the App Store and will stop working as of June or July of this year. I don't remember the exact date. So what are y'all's thoughts of this? Does this bother you? Do you use the app, or is it going to be a big loss that it's gone?
I'll say I actually only tried the app once or twice. It was pretty cool when I tried it. I didn't get to use it for too long, but it was pretty cool. It seemed like something that was going to stick around for a while. I've talked to other people who have used it, and it seems to get a lot of positive reviews. People enjoy using it. Going the way of open source always has its ups and downs, in my opinion. If you get a good group working on it, then they keep it going and they listen to the community with adding updates, adding features that people would want, or taking things away maybe that people don't want, and they're fixing bugs somewhat constantly. The flip side of that is maybe that doesn't happen, and then it sort of just sits and there isn't a whole lot of interest, and it ends up just kind of going by the wayside. So I hope that they keep it going and that people continue to develop it, work on it, and keep it out there. We're just going to have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I actually used Soundscape for quite a while to get oriented to the campus that I'm in for college, and it was extremely helpful. So I'm kind of sad to see it go open source. I know it could come with some improvements, but I don't know. I really liked it. I'm really curious to see where it goes, though, with it becoming open source. So we'll see what happens.
It
Uh,
definitely has a lot of potential. So yeah, hopefully they'll continue working on it.
I used Soundscape and am fond of Soundscape and like to use it, but I haven't been using it as much as I did in the past. My favorite feature was the ability to drop a point. So if I needed to cross a road in the middle of a block, I could easily do that. But yeah, so I'm intrigued to see where the open sourceness of Soundscape goes.
Right, and I want to give a quick shout out to our chat. We do have Taylor Arndt here in the chat, so welcome, Taylor. And she said that she's mad about that because I know Taylor uses soundscapes, and she says y'all know. Uh, so it's I've used it. I've seen it be used for training at different blindness centers like Chris Cole and places like that. So it's kind of a shame to see it, go open source. The problem with it going open source is they have removed parts of the app that are proprietary that they're using, like for the way that it gets OpenStreetMap's data in and converts it to a database and things like that. So there is back end stuff there that can be used, but dependencies are going to be required for it. So it's going to be kind of a pain to get that running on the back end. I've been able to get the app running on my phone, and I went through the whole onboarding process, which was really cool. But as soon as you get done, it crashes. And I looked at the Xcode logs, and it says that it crashed because it did not find anything from the server. Now, what's interesting is I would have figured they'd have some kind of error handling in that, because if the app would have just crashed the way it did if it had no internet, in production in the App Store, and I would really love to test. Well, I don't know if I can test it now, because I didn't download it. So I wonder if that's really that big of a bug that they just did not do error checking on if the URL was valid. That's very interesting. So
Interesting. Yeah.
I would love to test this because I actually have the app installed, so I'll have to check into it.
yeah, completely shut down the app, turn on airplane mode, and see if it crashes after a certain point. Or maybe they make it, maybe it works once it syncs up for the first time. And I develop apps that do that as well. Once they sync for the first time, they can be used offline. But anytime before that, they have issues. So it's interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think, and, if you guys know folks that are in development that do this kind of navigation work, we would love to hear from you so we can see if somebody can help us build back soundscapes. I don't mind supporting the back end servers and things like that if we can get help building it from the community. So that would be great. All right. Do you guys have any other thoughts on this topic?
I do
Not
not.
that I can think of. I think I'm good.
Okay. And, there are other apps out there. I just feel like Soundscapes had something unique that, other apps didn't have. So that's just, kind of my views on that. It's very,
I would love to hear what everybody else is using, so people can chime in and let us know what they're using. It'd be interesting to see what other people are using. Maybe there's something we haven't heard of, or maybe someone's using something in a way that we don't know about. So yeah, that'd be cool to see what other people are doing.
Exactly. I know some people use Blind Square, some people use just Google Maps and different things. So, and what would be really neat, is, and we can talk about this another time, but it'd be really neat if Microsoft takes what they've learned in Soundscapes and build it into something bigger in a different way, kind of like what they're looking at doing with what has been done with ChatGPT into Bing. And if folks don't know, ChatGPT is this chat bot you can type whatever into, and it will give you a result or response, and you can even build applications and things with it. So there's so many possibilities that we just don't know what the future is going to look like, and that's what's amazing.
That's why we're all here on this show today to predict our future. But before that,
Right, exactly. You could tell Michael's been in podcasting for a while. Uh, we're going to take a quick break and talk about something that's close to me as I work for them and build their app and use it here at my home, and that's WayAround. WayAround is a great app, service, and product. So if you haven't heard of WayAround, WayAround is a app you could download on your phone. Just search for WayAround Tag and Scan, and you could use it to tag things and label items around your house or apartment or business or office, wherever you are. And with WayAround, you can, it's kind of similar to the Pin Friend, but different, where you can scan items and it will tell you what they are, and you could put as much or as little information on that tag as you want. You're not limited to space. You do not use your voice. You can, as long as you can text on an iPhone or an Android phone, you can create a way tag. So really excited to be able to share with you guys that that it's out there. It's an amazing app, and I'm fortunate enough to get to work on it and use it. So check out WayAround. Really great app and service. So,
and
I love all the different size tags that WayAround makes for all different kinds of different scenarios. So, for example, there's smaller little round ones for something like, medication bottles. There's ones for food, there's cans. They have all different kinds of sizes. So if you're unsure and you've never tried before, I would definitely recommend the demo pack. That gives you kind of a one tag of every tag they make, and you can see them all, test them all, try them all. Yeah, starter pack. So definitely, if you're wanting to see how you can best use it, get the starter pack, give it a try. You get one of every tag in that pack, and that's a good way to kind of give you a good start.
And you can get those at wayaround.com or atguys.com.
That unlimited, pretty much virtually unlimited or extended details that you can provide on a way tag is amazing. Is Markdown supported? Because I know you can format the information you add, but that means you could add a recipe or important information for ingredients, or even a list of recipes separated by heading based on specific seasonings or ingredients that you have, and then you can add to that, and it could be your own personal little cookbook that you just scan a way tag on one of your ingredients, and it says, hey, you could cook one of these 5 different things.
So I don't know if I don't think we support Markdown. You might be able to put HTML in there, but I have not tried it.
I know you can do something because you can build out lists and stuff, so, and headings.
We do have where you could add different blocks. So you could add, a heading, we call them fields and things like that. So you could just add these different fields like a heading, lists and things like that. So that all is supported. So. But yep, if you want to check that out, wayaround.com, 7 different types of tags, stickers, buttons, magnets, and clips. So check those out. All right, so down to the important part of the show, the part that I'm sure everybody's been waiting for. It's to talk about the technology for 2023. We are just starting the year, and so I hope everybody's had a great holiday season and great new year. And, there's so many new ideas that are going to be coming out. Laws are changing, rules are changing. Apple may have to be changing. This might be the year of the USB-C iPhone, everyone. It might be the year of USB-C AirPods. We could see a change at least on the Apple side. Does anybody have any thoughts, at least on the Apple side of things? Like what would you like to see?
I have some thoughts. I think we're all looking at this wrong. And up until the end of 2021, it makes sense why we all thought USB-C is going to be the answer. But recently, the Qi consortium announced Qi 2, which means that MagSafe charging abilities will be able to come to Android later on this year. I think instead of us seeing a USB-C iPhone, we're going to get that completely portless iPhone that had been rumored for a while. And I'd be interested in that, especially if I could use one feeling around here on my desk, and this is a ridiculously cluttered and horrible desk, and it's a sit-stand desk, and I'm sitting more than I'm standing. But I'd love to have just one thing to plug in to charge my devices, because honestly, I'm never charging my AirPods while I'm charging my phone, while I'm charging my watch. Usually, I'm charging one of those devices at a time, because I charge my watch when I go take a shower and get ready for bed. Then I put my phone on its charger and I take my watch off, and my AirPods get charged when I can't figure out why they're not working. So I am never charging the same Apple device for myself, and yeah, so I'm intrigued to see where we'll go with that. That's my prediction for Apple stuff.
I would love to see Apple change all of their charging ports to USB-C.
Yes.
I think that, first of all, it has more of a utilitarian ability to it, where USB-C does more than just charge. You can transfer data, you can plug in other devices, hubs, things like that. And I would love, love, love to just have one cable that would charge it all. So if I only bring one or two cables and it's just a USB-C cable, and then either, a battery or, a USB-C wall charger, and I know that that's going to charge all of my devices and I'm not going to have multiple different cables to do different things, to me, that would be really awesome. I know that the Qi charging thing is really a great way to charge stuff, but it doesn't always work 100%, and depending on what you have, it can still charge really slow. So I don't think, at least now, it's going to be the be-all, end-all. So I'm going for USB-C across all of the devices would be my choice.
I don't know that I'm ready for a portless iPhone just yet.
I would agree.
probably
I would
won't
definitely
get it,
agree.
but I will dream about it. I probably won't get it, but I'll dream about it.
That's all I have to say on that one.
To that though, I don't know that all of the I think the biggest predictions that I've been hearing is that the standard iPhones will get no ports, but your Pro models will. And the reason is that they need that fast transfer speed to get that video and raw data off of the iPhones. And that's the main reason for USB-C, because, Lightning is still USB 2.0, which is really, Lightning is about 10 years old or more. And we're at that point where when you're taking these high quality videos and recordings, it takes longer to get it off the iPhone than it does to do anything else, and that's kind of a problem.
Well, here's something to think about. If we're talking about transferring high resolution video and photos, why not do Thunderbolt? Because Thunderbolt it transfers data faster than USB-C, and it also transfers video.
Right.
So think of what you could do with your phone if you had a Thunderbolt port on it. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, and Thunderbolt is actually the same port as a USB-C. So and that's kind of the problem with the USB-C standard. That's why a lot of people are, kind of negative about USB-C. Is a USB-C port can be USB-C, Thunderbolt 2, 3, or 4. It could be, hold this much wattage. It could do this or that, or be, so that's kind of the big confusion about USB-C in its own self, is what does that port actually do? And does the cable that you're using support everything that you want it to do? Like some cables will not charge your laptop, but they'll charge an iPad. And some cables will charge a laptop, or some of them will charge an even bigger laptop. So there's so many things that go into USB-C that a lot of people just don't understand. It's like, I typically just use Apple USB-C cables because I know they're going to work for the best thing that they're going to do. So again, it comes down to, I think that for the standard user, they would rather just use the Qi 2 charger because they're not going to be pulling all that data. But a user that's using a Pro phone, would. So I could see them just putting the USB-C on those Pro phones. Um, but what about on the Android side? Is one of the things that I've been hearing a lot about is the Pixel tablet. And does anybody think that that'll be pretty interesting this year, or is it just
So I've never been a larger form factor user. I've tried to use the iPad. And it's just never really stuck with me. So to me, the Pixel tablet, which is a real thing, like Google announced it I/O, I think, of 22, maybe 21, but I think it was 22, and I think are going to do some interesting things with it, but I won't buy one and probably won't use one.
I still kind of feel that Android's kind of in the wild, wild west still. That would be probably my frustration with Android is, you have all these different manufacturers and they take the Android operating system and they change it around to whatever each individual company feels that their look and feel should be and how they think things should work. And then you have different versions of the operating system out there, and every different phone at every different model gets a different version. They're not always updated at the same time. It just really turns into the wild, wild west. I would love to see there be more of a standard. I would say if I was going to go Android at all in any way, it would be a Pixel only because of the raw Android operating system and because it's made by Google. At least you know that you're going to always be on whatever the most current update will be at the time if you're in somewhat of a current model phone. So
I don't know that I would ever use one. I think I would use it for a while and then have fun with it for a little while, and then it would just sit on my desk. I'm very partial to my devices. But I would be curious to get my hands on one and see what it looks like and play with it.
yeah, it really surprises me how they get away with having the features that they have and the quality that they have for such a low price point. I mean, you're talking one of the most more current models, I think, is 6A, which is the recommended for a regular basic user who wants a little bit of everything. And it comes in at around $350, I believe. And that's far cheaper than most other phones in its same category. So that's one good thing about it. I don't know how they get it that low, but they do. So I got to give them props there.
Yeah, it just depends on what they do. Sometimes they make the casing, like what the phone's in cheaper, or they cut corners in different places. As far as the tablets, I figured I went with I got a Samsung Android phone this year for testing and things like that for my work. And I like the Samsung experience a little better. They do take a little longer to get updates, but they do get them now a lot faster than they used to. But they have their own launcher and things like that. So I ended up picking up a Samsung tablet, S8 Plus, and it's actually a very nice tablet. Does it beat the iPad? No, but it does beat the iPad when Apple decides to break magnification zooming gestures for like 3 months. So that was, I like to have both, and I figured, the Samsung has some of the best hardware. It comes with an S Pen to try that out. So I picked up one of those, and I really like it for an Android tablet. And that's kind of the big problem with Android is they have not focused on tablets. They've been focusing so much on Chromebooks, and I think those are kind of slowing down in production. And they're looking to, Google can't make up its mind whether it wants to be here or there, so they keep just switching tablets, Chromebooks. What are we going to do? And so they can't keep things going. They kill more projects than they create, it seems like. So, it's just, you don't know how long this Pixel tablet will be around, and that's another issue. But that Samsung, they've been making tablets through the whole time. So, companies like that will always be making tablets, even if they aren't the best devices.
Samsung's also involved in some interesting things that we've kind of seen, and they've partnered with things. So with different organizations, one of my desire / tech predictions for 2023 is better AI. And we're kind of already seeing this with the Chat GPT, which is all good, and that's awesome. But AI doesn't just stay there. Samsung announced that they're working with a company that is producing what looks like some smart glasses to help augment people with sight loss. Not like the Envision glasses, but to help provide a clearer viewpoint or a clearer perspective for you to be able to see through. And that's probably being used by AI. There was the organization that I admittedly can't remember the name of out of Canada that's releasing a headset that is for augmented reality to be able to provide information for blind or sight impaired individuals while trying to get around. And then lastly, one thing that was literally just announced, and this is interesting, I'm going to show you guys this here in a moment if everything works right. But one of the things that was just announced is Apple is moving to using text to speech for reading some books. So that way they can provide more books to individuals and get it done faster by using text to speech. Now, I'm going to try something live, and we're going to see if we can hear this.
Trees had materialized ahead of us.
So that's one voice, and that actually sounds pretty clear. But I'm going to go ahead and go over here and grab one of these other voices here.
We would walk to the end of the beach to find our favorite constellation.
And I'm going to do one more quick demo of these, and let's see if this works.
Good sense in falling back when cold reason.
So the two male voices sounded kind of similar. I'm interested to hear how they'll sound at higher rates of speed, but that definitely is one of the things that intrigues me is how is AI going to be used to augment things that we already have? I am not fond of text-to-speech audio description. That is not something I'm fond of. I love the fact that I have it and that I can use it, but it is never mixed properly and is very jarring, especially to someone who's not comfortable with audio description, and then you go and use a text-to-speech. If we start using one of these voices like this, I think that could open a lot more possibilities for increasing audio description and, of course, getting access to more books too.
Michael, was that last voice there? Are you sure that was text? That sounded like Ray Porter, who did the Bobaverse books.
No, it's text to speech. It's on their website. You can go look at it. But yeah, pretty good quality though.
Yeah, I was. Wait a minute, I've heard that voice before, but I guess not. Wow. So
I think it would sound good for short form stuff. I don't know unless you found a really good voice or they improved just a little bit. I don't know if you could read a whole novel like that. They still sound a little robotic, but we'll have to see how it goes.
And that's interesting you say that, Marty. And for listeners and viewers, I'm going to get a little personal here. Marty lost sight a lot later in life. I was born blind, so I grew up on the text-to-speech and reading myself books with eloquence and other voices. And to me, this is like, yeah, you can barely tell, but man, this is a lot better than some other screen readers.
Guys, let's go ahead and pause and cut here for just a second.
Yeah.
Lauren has to get her stuff.
I looked up to find.
It's good to be. It's good to be back doing these.
Here, check this
Yes,
out.
it did.
Check this out.
Movement in the greenhouse drew his eye, and a woman emerged. At
And
first,
then I'll
he
switch
wasn't
to the next
sure.
voice.
Wall of trees had materialized ahead of us. I hadn't noticed because I'd been staring at my feet.
Did he say
I couldn't
all
believe
of
the
trees?
fields actually had an end.
I don't know what he said.
On nights with a new moon,
Those are-
we would walk to the end of the beach to find
got a
our
southern
favorite
accent.
constellation, the Pleiades. I know Bill.
The first lady voice that you did would be probably the one I would listen to. It sounds the least robotic to my ears.
Yeah. What, Mike?
So when, what are they going to be using these for?
If they're actually, this was literally announced like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, I just saw it.
If you go to authors.apple.com, apple.com/support/blah. I'll text you this link, Michael. But they're going to be using them to provide TTS-based audiobooks.
Oh, wow.
So so authors can elect to have their books turned into audiobooks.
So is that because I wonder if they're going to stop supporting Audible?
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Is Apple Books supporting Audible right now?
Every book that you buy on Apple Books that's an audiobook comes from Audible.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
In
But yeah,
fact,
maybe they're going to
a
try.
lot of the covers even say an Audible exclusive.
Yep.
I don't think that I don't think they're going to stop doing that in place of this, because this isn't going to compare to an Audible book. Those are read by real people. So
It might just be for books that are cool. It might just be for books that are not in Audible form or audio form.
yeah.
Yet.
Or for people who don't have the capability or the money to be able to hire someone to do it, this is maybe a good second option. So they can offer an audiobook.
It's good to be back doing this show. It's been nice. I've been enjoying this.
There was a good article. Do you want me to send you an article, Michael? For this just came out this afternoon. I could send you one of the articles if you want.
For what's that?
For this augmented reality audio
Yeah,
in
send that
the
to
Apple
me.
bookstore. All right.
Oh, I think Michael, the Audible in the bookstore. Michael just sent me one about that.
Okay.
I just sent you the demo, and you can get more information there. It's not an actual
Yeah.
article. It's just on Apple's webpage.
Cool.
Next time we do this, I'm going to set myself up so I can stream us a couple other places too, because that's something I'm doing with Pale Media. So it's streaming people. So next time we'll have Clubhouse, maybe. Probably won't interact with them, but we can do that. And we should.
Do we have an unmute Clubhouse?
No, that would imply someone used Clubhouse. Oh,
We do have an iAccessibility Club, which I might rename to iACast, and we can use that.
there you go. And we need to figure out a doc or something to easily share the YouTube link, because I gave up going to look for it.
Oh, do you need the? Yeah, that's true. We need something to make that easy.
Like a system or a process so everyone can get it
Yeah.
quickly. So something to work out. See, if you're watching live, you get behind the scenes of realizing that we don't know what we're doing, but we're pretending like we do.
Hey, even if I know what I'm doing, I always never exactly know what I'm doing.
I have gotten a lot more consistent with file naming and getting people content now that I've implemented Text Expander, Hazel, and Keyboard Maestro. Like my workflow has already improved.
Zoom has a new setting that once the recording is done being processed, you can pick where it's going to save it instead of it dropping it into that one folder, which is.
Oh, that is nice. That is
Yeah.
nice.
I did not know that was a thing. So I could just, throw it wherever you need it to be, which, let me know whenever we're.
Yeah, I don't care. Google Drive, Dropbox, doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
I give them both money, so
We are using Dropbox. That's been really good for us. But
yeah.
if you have a different workflow, then
I have both, so I can just throw it in
Yeah.
Dropbox.
Just
I don't
throw
know
it
if I'm in
somewhere.
y'all's folder, though.
You ain't. Marty has to invite you, I think. I might be able to invite you. Let me see.
I don't even know my Dropbox email address. I guess I should find that out and text it to you because I don't want to tell YouTube all that information.
Well, I can just send it to the email that I have for you, and then
Okay.
you
Yeah,
should
that's
be
good.
able to just click it, and it'll say, this was sent to this person. Do you want to add it to this Dropbox again?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I do. Which is a lot more convenient than Google Drive sharing, because if you don't know that email, then you can't really share with them, because then they'll have to create a new Google account. And yeah. I do like Google Drive, though.
Yeah, both of them. The one thing I like about Google Drive is that Again, behind the scenes, folks. I love that the shared drives that are unlimited amount of space. I like that a lot. That's the one reason why I'll never get rid of my workspace. And the upload limit is 750 gigabytes a day.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, for having no limit, you can't beat that. I mean, it's like you still have the 2 terabyte limit if you use your own personal drive, but if you use like the shared drives, then
Yeah, Marty, you have to share the folder with him because I can only send him a link where he can view stuff, it looks like.
Okay.
So, no huge rush, but oh, it's been a busy week. Fun, but busy.
yeah, I understand that.
I'm editing an audio project right now while we record. That's how busy it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm almost done, but I'm like, I want to get this one done now.
We're doing some really cool stuff that I can't talk about right now for way around, so.
Uh-huh. Blind Shell's doing some fun stuff too. I'm excited. Text Expander, though, everyone, I'm telling you, Text Expander is amazing.
Oh, I use it for my development process now.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I signed up and started using Copilot today. That thing is neat.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like ChatGPT, but instead of VS Code.
Yeah. Yeah. How much is that?
10 a month.
That's not horrible. I've always said, ever since I started playing with it, if they asked me for money for ChatGPT and they continued to improve the experience, I would pay the money for ChatGPT.
Me too. Me too. I'd pay for both. And just to let you know, Michael, I don't know if you know this, but it is kind of bleeding through when you play your audio.
Yep. I realized that was super loud. Delete. Do you use Sound Source, Michael?
What's sound source?
It's like an audio mixer on your Mac. So I just hit a keystroke and it shows me all the apps that I have running, and I can adjust the audio levels, like turn them up and down.
Cool. How much is that one?
It's like $29. It's from Rogue Amoeba.
Oh, go figure.
Yep.
They're awesome.
Yep.
I'll be picking that up next. Oh, remind me to tell you guys something whenever we get off of streaming.
All right.
Too bad you can't pause streaming. That would be neat. But
You could. So there are ways to do it, and I can.
I think if you go to the website, but I don't think you can do it just in Zoom.
No, you have to go through a third-party tool. It's not bleeding through now, is it?
No.
Okay.
This is one of those times we need some copyright-free music to just.
Michael D, I just sent you a link to the Dropbox folder. Do you want to see if you got it?
Yeah, let me take a look. Did you email it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I did. Great.
So you
You
just
said
have,
you
you'll
want
have
some-
access to the whole unmute folder.
Michael, you made me remember I have a whole folder of copyright-free music. That was
awesome.
good timing. I like how that sounded.
Yeah. That was excellent. Highly approve.
You could put that music in the edited version of this. This could be the break time, you know? Get a
Here,
cup
this
of
one?
coffee.
This one is a little more appropriate. You'll understand why in a moment. Let me make sure it's not going to blow your ears out. Yep. See, this is why we check our stuff, people. This is why we check stuff. But check this out. See, there's clocks
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
and money.
So apparently it is tied to the Dropbox. It is tied to the email that you invite.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Was the email I sent it to tied to the Dropbox that you on your side?
No. I'll send you that email address.
Okay.
That's my company email.
Oh, I think I had. Is it the iCloud one?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
See, you go through the Dropbox interface to do the share, and it just shows your name. It didn't let me pick because in my contacts I have multiple emails. I got your work one, your personal one, but in the Dropbox interface, it doesn't let me pick that. It just shows your name, and that's it.
Right.
How much food did this girl order?
I didn't want to say it. Well, she's in a building where she has to go downstairs and come back up.
Okay.
But I didn't say it.
Nope, we got it on recording. It was me.
I might be able to copy and paste a direct link in and not do it by your name. Maybe that'll let me do it that way.
Yeah, you should be able to just paste his email in.
So
he
is it the
sends it to you.
iCloud one that I have? Is that the one?
I'm making sure right now. Yes.
All right.
The holidays are just around the corner. Wait, no, wrong time of year. We just got past the holidays. I can't believe it's already this. Is today the 5th or the 6th? It's the 5th.
Today is the
5th.
Is it?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's the. Yeah, it is.
It's
Today's the
January
5th.
5th.
Wow.
See, when you did that, it just automatically added it to my Dropbox.
Is
That's
that not
awesome.
good?
That's good.
That's what he likes. He didn't have to do anything on his end.
Oh no, I just had to press an add button. That was
So then, are we good then?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I don't know how you were able to, whatever you did on your end, you made it work. I don't have to do anything else.
Nope.
Sweet.
At the ACB Media Holiday Auction. Happy bidding. The opinions expressed on ACB Media.
I just looked at my feed and I didn't see it yet.
You didn't see what?
Our today's news.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, son of a bitch. Open Overcast.
Did you have to edit the intro at all from what I said, or did you just leave it?
I pretty much just went live to tape.
It sounded okay.
Yeah. I mean, I took a couple of breaths out and stuff like that and did a little bit of compression and stuff. And ultimately, that's really what I've been doing with a lot of my edits is I do a lot of live to tape. I will Thanks to ACB Media, I have a script that will help me with going through and taking out all the mouth clicks or the ums to make the audio just sound better. But a lot of times it's just live to tape.
Well, I was worried it was too wordy.
No, you were good. I have it. Hot off the press, Unmute presents Bard on the Blind Shell 2.
How many views does it have now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Bard on the Blind Shell Classic 2. I'll tell you in a second, Marty.
So why
1 million
classic in the name?
Why is Blind Shell in the name?
Hey, y'all.
Oh, you made it back.
No, well, okay, so my driver delivered it said that the driver delivered the order, but it didn't end up showing up. And that was an over $100 order, so I'm on the phone with Instacart trying to figure out what's going on. If y'all want to finish out the podcast, you're welcome to. I know it's going to be a weird cutoff, but I don't want to keep y'all for too much longer.
Well, you could just hang out there, and if you can chime in while you're still on hold. Oh, but we hear your hold music. Never mind.
Yeah,
It's okay. No, I'll mute it. I can mute it. I just wanted to make sure that y'all weren't waiting on me, but I can do
13, Marty.
Okay.
I can do that right
13
there.
in an hour.
Okay. So, yeah, if you want to just if you want to just unmute Lauren and chime in whenever you want to.
No
that would
pun
be totally
intended.
fine. Yeah, right?
No one else caught that one. Oh.
Yeah,
You know, on
it
the
took me a
volume
second.
rocker, when you're pumping your volume up or down, it says unmute. I mean, voiceover says unmute.
Yes.
It's cool.
So I don't remember where we left off.
I'll count in, and we'll. We were talking about Android and the tablets that kind of stuff. So, so I'll count in, and I'll move us on to something else. Do y'all want to talk about? Is there anything specific?
Does Lauren or Marty have something they want to bring up as a tech prediction? Because Michael
let's
and
do
I
that.
have. So Marty, do you have something you want to bring up?
Actually, what I was going to bring up, we already talked about, but let me think for a second. What else would be a good tech prediction?
Do you guys see that completely wireless TV that was announced?
I haven't seen. I figured that would be a lot of this year as TVs, but there's going to be some other things.
Yeah.
There's a new Ember mug that's like $250 that you can find it in your, because it has
it's
the
got
Find My technology or whatever.
Oh, I need that. If I can make my coffee mug make some noises so I can find it when I set it down and forget where I put it, yeah.
I'm totally thinking like Beauty and the Beast with the mugs that walked around and talked.
Yep.
Do you want me to count back in and we could talk about what about processors? Are y'all good with that?
I don't know anything about processors.
Well, like there's talk of the M1 and all that kind of stuff for this year.
Yeah, we can talk about
we
that.
can
I'm
do
okay with
that. That's good.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. So another thing that I think is interesting that is always in the news is the discussion of all of these processors, Intel, AMD, Apple, and how these things work. And the rumors is that there's going to be a M2 Pro, M2 Max, and M2 Extreme. And, all of the companies are out there trying to compete with Apple on these processors. Do you guys think that anybody is going to come close yet?
I think someone, maybe not this year, but I think someone's going to eventually catch up to what Apple is doing. When I render audio projects on the Mac, it is the best experience that I've ever had because of how quickly it's done and how efficiently it's done. But going from the M1 to the M2, from what I have heard, has not been wasn't a huge jump, which is to be expected. They made the huge jump to the M processors. I don't know how an correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, isn't an M1 Pro or M1 Max in some instances more efficient than an M2?
Well, the way that it works, and if you had an M1 device, like just an M1 Air or a Pro, and you jump up to an M2 Air or a Pro, you're going to get a lot better performance on that chip. And the way it was explained to me, and Rene Ritchie told this very well, he said, think of it as you're driving an 18-wheeler. That's your M1. You get the M1 Pro, and you have four 18-wheelers that are driving. They're driving all the same speed, but you have more capacity to go at one time. And then the M1 Max, you get, eight 18-wheelers, and then the M1 Ultra, you got 16. So you can bring a lot of stuff really quickly, at one time, but still the same speed. Now with the M2, that one 18-wheeler is moving faster than the 18-wheelers on the M1, but you just have the less capacity that you could carry at one time. When the M2 Pro and M2 Max comes out, that's where we're going to really see it on those high-end computers.
I think that the big issue is the regular day-to-day person who is doing all the typical day-to-day stuff, email, browsing the web, writing documents, music, even if they're doing some basic photo and video stuff. As a majority, the huge jump from Intel 2 M1 was massive. You have the technology of not needing fans, or if you do need a fan, the fan is only coming on, in certain scenarios, which is not very often. These processors run really, really cool, which is great. But like I said, for the average person, you're going to see that huge jump in the initial beginning, just because they're so much faster. And the technology is so new that you're just going to see the performance of your computer overall so fast, it doesn't even compare to what you had previous to the M1 processor. But now that you have that, going from the M1 to the M2 is not going to be that different, because the normal day-to-day person isn't pushing the processors enough to really warrant that extra power. Even if you're using an M1, or for example, like an M1 Pro, still the average person is not gonna see how much faster it is doing the basic day-to-day stuff. So the only people who are going to see this huge difference in processor speed are people who are doing huge rendering tasks and things like that. Otherwise, the day-to-day person's not really going to notice that much difference.
Or unless you're gaming. I actually did see on the M1 Air, I was playing Minecraft on the highest setting. The game actually made that machine crash, which I thought was interesting. But now keep in mind that was on the highest setting. Now on the M2 Air, it runs like a dream. So it's very interesting, back when that was the case, it did not have a native port of Minecraft, and now it does. So that could also be a difference too. But it's just very interesting just to see where things are just a year or two later, whenever they come out with the new machines. And I think we're going to keep seeing that. Like, some things are just going to work better, some things, more efficiently. But I do think that Apple's 2-year transition has taken them a little longer than 2 years, which is really interesting, because we still don't have the modular Mac Pro yet. So I'll be interested to see that. I have a gaming laptop sitting next to me. Actually, it's on the desk, and my Mac sits on top of it. And that way I could just switch between the two whenever, I'm done with work. I can just move over to gaming. But it's very interesting that they're starting to use efficiency cores and performance cores, but that thing still runs really hot. Do you guys think we'll see the performance we get on the x86, Intel main boards, or do you think that's going to come with on the ARM side like Apple has?
I think it'll be on the ARM side. I think that the other companies, Intel, AMD, will get there. But by the time they get there, Apple's going to be so far ahead of the game at that point that it's going to be interesting to see what the differences are going to be. I personally believe that AMD probably will get there first before Intel does, and probably a little bit better. AMD with their Ryzen processors were killing it. They were blowing AMD out of the water already for a few years before even the M1 came out. And so I think that AMD is prepared already to sort of take that second place position. I think that when AMD really broke ground with their Ryzen processors, they were so far ahead of Intel. I think that Intel kind of got caught, in a precarious position because, they've been struggling to try and keep up with AMD once they release those Ryzen processors, and the Ryzens, they just keep coming out with a better, faster processor that's just outdoing Intel pretty much in every scenario. And then you've got Apple that came out with these M1s a couple of years ago. And I think that Intel's really struggling to try and pivot and figure out what exactly they're going to do and how they're going to get there. So we're going to really have to pay attention and see what happens. But AMD has just announced actually some new processors that have come out that are supposed to be super fast, super powerful, run really cool, and be that competitor to the M1. And so we'll see how this all plays out.
So do you guys think we'll see any, like right now I'm using the AirPods Max. Do you guys think we'll see any of the of those or some new audio equipment this year from Apple or others?
Oh, I'd
I hope
love
so.
to see that. That would be amazing.
What would you like to see in the new Macs if they were to come out? I think that'd be the next ones to come out. What would you like to see in them?
So, go ahead, Lauren.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I would like to see some better them upgrade the noise cancellation to the AirPods Pro 2 and just improve on the transparency, kind of do what they did with the AirPods Pro 2 with that as well, and then maybe some more battery power. I always for that. And then I would love to have if the device is dead, that you could plug in a cable and it would work while it was not powered. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's a dream. So
Those were my 4 things, my top 4. So you hit it right out of the park.
I'll add USB-C for charging instead of Lightning.
Yes.
oh yeah, that too.
So I think that it would be great to see new Macs, see what they come out with, and see what kind of updates they give it. My only thing about them is the price point is so high that the majority of people can't afford them. There's a lot of other competitors out there that have mostly the same features and are not nearly the cost. So I just think the barrier to entry on those is really heavy on the price. So it'd be great if they can find a way to bring the price down somewhat, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the biggest hurdle for a lot of people is the barrier to entry. I think with a lot of Apple products in general. So it'd be cool to see some more, not even outside of, audio. I'd love to see some of their other products kind of, the barrier to entry kind of shrink a little bit as well.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure, but on the Beats line, which is owned by Apple, like on the studio headsets, do they have that same chip in there, or do they have like the Apple chip inside those, or are those still just straight Bluetooth?
They have the Apple chip now.
So if you were to get like the Beats Studio, then they have the same chip and they have the noise cancellation and all that stuff, right?
They usually have a little bit less than what the Apple devices do. They're pretty close, but they always are missing some aspect that makes them as expensive as Apple devices.
If you couldn't afford the Macs, though, and you could afford the Studio, which are a couple to a few $100s less, and they're still full-size over-the-ear headset, then a lot of people are going to opt for those because the majority of the people aren't going to be able to afford the price point at the max. So I don't know.
Right. Moving on to another company that I know a lot of folks really like, Amazon. Do you guys think we're going to see any changes in the Echo devices? They announced that that A-Lady has been a, what was it, $10 million loss over the last years, several
Wow.
years. So do you think we'll see less Echo devices start coming out, or
I
how do
hope
y'all
so.
think?
I hope so, because I can't keep them all straight. Like
Yeah.
some Amazon events, they're dropping 30, 40 new Echo devices. No wonder she's
Really?
losing money.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was that one, I think it was 2021, where they dropped like a clock and 2 or 3 different types of the Echo. So maybe not 30 or 40 different types. It is very possible that I exaggerated, but it's never just one new Echo device or 2 new Echo devices. And because of the longevity of all of the Echo devices, like I've got 3 or 4 of the Echo 3rd generation. I don't have a need to upgrade to the Echo 4th or 5th generation. We do have a Nest Hub in our house, so I just hope they slow down a little bit and let people better understand the options available.
They had an interesting theory with all of the Echo devices, and that is sell them for super cheap. That way they can then have everyone using their services, which would make them a lot more money. This was their theory. So they're always selling a new version of, the Echo devices, and then people will use their services, whether it's music or whether it's ordering stuff through Amazon or whatever the case may be. So I wonder now if we're not going to see less hardware, but we're going to see the hardware cost go up since they're losing so much money. I mean, I don't think they're going to get rid of the A-Lady. I think they may need to pivot a little, and like with inflation and everything else going on, I wouldn't be surprised if they just start charging more for their hardware, and they may streamline it a little bit where there's maybe not so many options. You might see like a dot, you'll see something in the middle, and then 1 or 2 versions with the screen, and that'll be it. You're not going to see all these different models of every different kind of hardware. They'll probably streamline it, and then they'll probably raise the price a little bit. That's
Right.
just a total guess. That's my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Who knows?
That's
No,
why
that makes
we're here
complete
for.
sense.
That's why we're here for predictions. Because we
You
don't
have a drone that came out, I think it's like a year or 2 ago, which was pretty cool. It has this dock, and you train the drone, and it knows to go to its home, which is the dock where it flies back to. And what it's supposed to do is every so often it flies around your house and it patrols your entire house. And then it goes back to the dock, which is its home, and it charges. And then if anything were to ever happen, like it hears a door open, a window open, something break, like a window or anything like that, it flies immediately to that door or window or whatever the case is, and it just sits there and hovers, and it starts shooting video right away and captures the video to the cloud. So that's kind of cool. I mean,
wouldn't it be neat if somebody created a drone that could guide somebody that's blind how to get from point A to point B?
that'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
That would be so neat.
There are some technologies out there, not necessarily with drone technology, but smart mobility aids. And I've never tried one, so I can only voice my opinion on it. It would be awesome, but I don't think anything's ever going to give up either a cane or a dog guide.
I don't think so either, but I think it would be an addition to those tools. It's always talking about the best tools in the toolbox. So I think if you could have some kind of a device that, I'm trying to go to this place, and you're walking, it's almost like you walk behind it and it just guides you there.
Think about this scenario. Let's say that you do have a drone that can do that, right? The drone is capable of being able to fly at your face level or maybe a little bit higher than that. You get to a corner where there's a busy intersection, and the biggest fear is even though the light turns green and the flow of traffic changes, you're always concerned that someone's going to bury through that right-hand turn and you're going to be stuck in a precarious position. But if you had a drone with a camera on it that was able to see what you can't see at your face level, then, and let you know whether it's 100% safe or whether there's a car that's going to bury through that right hand turn and put you in a precarious position, that would be huge.
Can you
Well,
imagine?
or that the drone would take the hit before you would.
That too.
Can you imagine a drone that could tell you what the surfaces are looking like ahead of you?
That'd be cool too.
To where it will
Yeah.
tell you, oh, mostly flat, or be careful of construction, or I don't know. There's just so many opportunities for that. I think it would be really, really cool.
I agree. And I want to see, we're going to have to wrap this up before too long, I think. But, Apple has always been talking about their AR, VR headset. And I think there's so much room for that for helping people that are blind because they've done so much with accessibility, with the voiceover, the magnifier app, and all these things that we didn't think that they would be, going into. So it's possible if they actually are building a headset that would be where we would go with accessibility, and maybe we can scale out from there. So do you guys think there will be an Apple headset this year?
I would hope so. That'd be amazing.
I would hope so. I don't know. It's one of these things where it could go either way, honestly.
Yep. All right. So I think that's going to. I think we've kind of talked about the topics today. And if folks are listening, we would always love your feedback. We're working on changing our social media, so we'll be back with you guys more with how to get in contact with us again. We're going to have to rebrand a lot of this stuff, but I'm sure if you find us here on YouTube, you can do that. iAccessibility on YouTube. iACast.net will have a contact form up there by the time that you hear this podcast, so you can send us feedback there. And we're probably going to have a feedback at iACast.net that can go to several of us as well. So I would like to thank everybody for listening. But as we always do on these podcasts, it's time for our picks of the week and contact information. So, Lauren, would you like to go first? Would you like to give us your pick of the week and how people can find you online?
Sure. My pick of the week is called.
Well, I guess
it's
not weeks anymore now. We haven't been doing weekly episodes in a
Oh
long
my
time.
goodness, that's
Yeah.
right. So sorry about that. So my pick would be it's a type of cane and it's called a D cane. And essentially it is a small business and they create high quality, more, I guess, durable canes. It has a really nice grip and a nice handle. I think it's a little bit easier to use and more convenient. In addition, it kind of looks like the shaft would be almost like an NFB cane, except that it's a lot more bendy and durable. So I really, really like it. It's a little bit lighter than the traditional straight cane, and it works really well. Everyone that I've spoken to with the business has been super nice, and they're pretty affordable. I'd say they're like $20 a cane, I believe. So that's my pick, and maybe we can pop that in the show notes, a link to that. But
For sure.
as to where you can find me, I'm kind of doing some rebranding myself. So if you'd like to find me, you're welcome to find me on Instagram at Lauren_Bradford_22. And then you can also email me, although my last name is changing, so it's kind of all over the place. That's the best way to get in contact with me right now is Instagram.
Excellent. So, Marty, would you like to go next?
Sure. So I will talk about an app that I just discovered that I've been using, which is super cool. It's called AirBuddy for the Mac, and it's a utility that sits in your bar up on the right side. And what it does is it shows all of your Bluetooth and battery devices. So your AirPods or any other device that you would have on your network. So it could show your phone, your tablets, your buds, anything you want to add to it. It could show. You can connect by just clicking on it really quickly. It could show you battery status. It's a great little app. It's super awesome. So I've been having fun with that. It has some great features. It does work with voiceover, so that's really awesome. Yeah, check it out, AirBuddy. It is a cool little app. And you can reach me at unmutepresents@gmail.com. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. And, I just realized that I think all of us here are Mac users, which is cool. Really neat.
Yes.
Michael Babcock, what about you? What's your pick and where can people find you?
So I had a totally different pick until this morning when it was announced, and so I'm changing it up on everyone. I'm not choosing Keyboard Maestro. See what I did there? I got both of them in there. Anyways, I am picking Blind Shell, and more specifically, the Bard application on Blind Shell. This has been the #1 requested app for the Blind Shell Classic 2. Everyone has wanted it. Of course, as I told people on the Unmute episode that we dropped, I'm going to tell people on Double Tap and every other place that there are some improvements that could be made. But for a first iteration of the software, I'm super excited that it's available. It's easy to interface with. You can go download your books to either your internal memory or what they call external, which is the micro SD card. And it's available in the app catalog now. And if you don't see it right now, give it a couple of hours as it slowly rolls out. So again, my pick is Bard on the Blind Shell Classic 2. You can reach me at Payown, Payown, at iAccessibility.social on Discord. Wait, no, that's not on Discord. That is on Mastodon. I'm at Payown on Discord, but I don't remember the numbers, and Twitter and everywhere else. And probably producing content for iAccessibility.
Yep. All right. And everybody should know what my pick will be because, I'm just obvious like this. My pick this time is going to be ChatGPT. Are you surprised? Are you really surprised?
Shocker.
Yeah, not at all.
yeah.
Not even a little surprised.
So ChatGPT is an online chat bot made by OpenAI where it's made as a dialogue chat option where you're supposed to be able to type to it and get language and figure out how to say things. And it's really good for blog posts and things like that. It'll write poems, all kinds of things, but I like it because it will write code for me, which is, obviously the reason why I like it. But you could go to chat.openai.com. That's chat.openai.com and sign up for an account. And you can, once you're signed up, you can log in and chat with this system, and it's really neat. Highly recommend you try it, check it out. You'll be surprised with the things it'll tell you. It will give you occasionally wrong things, so just be aware of that. So just phrase things correctly, and you'll be good to go. So chat.openai.com, really neat service. As for where you could find me online, I am Mike Dowies on Twitter. I am Michael Dowies on Facebook if you want to find me there. I'm on pretty much every social media network. My Mastodon is at Mike Dowies at techopolis.social. That's Mike Dowies, MikeDoise at Techopolis, TECHOPOLIS.social. So you can find me at all of those places and hope to see you there. I want to thank everybody for being here. I hope you guys enjoy our changes to the network and all the news that we've had. Thank you, Michael, Marty, and Lauren for being here with me today. And I look forward to being here with you guys on other iACast episodes. And, we'll have other folks that are hosting these as well. So this has been great. Thank you so much for everybody being here. And we'll see you next time. All right. Bye, everyone. All right, that's a wrap. I'm going to take down the YouTube first.
Yeah, that went pretty good.